And then Terry.
We are at the Stark Community Center. This is the preliminary activities for the Stark Plowboys Tractor Club. We are drawing cards for the poker run portion of our cruise. We have members in the cruise from as far away as Goodman, Missouri, and Garnett, Kansas. Locally, we have Erie, Kansas, Savinburg, Kansas, Chinook, Kansas.
We don't look like cheese.
We have approximately 22 tractors in our cruise. We will be going from Stark, Kansas, west, up through Uniontown for lunch, provided by the Westhoff family.
Okay, guys.
We will be proceeding to Lake Ellsmere and Savinburg back to Stark.
Kind of what we do here on this ride.
Willie
I will
Martin
make sure on the railroad tracks,
giving us the
if for some
rules.
reason half of us get through, we will wait for you guys. Don't try to jump and beat the train. Just wait for it, and we'll wait for you guys to catch up.
Maybe. Depends on where I'm on the other side.
And we're going backwards. This year is what we did the last two years. We'll wind up in Uniontown for lunch.
Same part.
Same part.
What is the and you'll pay for the lunch right there?
Yes.
And I don't know how much it is. What was it?
It was $6 last year, but they set the price.
Yeah, right.
So it may
you're
be
on-
$7 and everything, but
You're on your own. You pay, pay
have
up there.
And I suggest when you get done eating this
Visitor
year,
here.
if you think you need gas, go up and get gas so that when we get ready to head out for the afternoon ride, that we don't have to wait for nobody to get gas. You already got your gas, and when we head out, we can head out right on out. Either one of you, Larry, got anything to add?
All I like to say is, remember last year, if you stop your tractor and set the brake, be sure to release the brake before you take off. Hey, that gentleman's not here, but you can look it up there. If you have brakes, some of them don't have brakes, so it's got the moot point. Get a big run.
We're here at Lake Ellsmere, known as the Bourbon County State Lake. I believe every county in Kansas has a state lake, so we're taking a break here. Weather's pretty breezy today. Temperature-wise, it's fairly pleasant, but we got a lot of, when we get off the pavement, we get a lot of dust blowing, but that's to be expected. So I'm gonna walk along here. I'll show you a little bit of the lake. See if I can get some interviews. I'm walk down here. Larry? Larry, Mr. This is Larry Whalen, our treasurer of our group. He's Larry, what do you got in your car there? Come over here and talk to me a minute. What do you got in your car there?
You what?
What do you have in your car there?
I got cold water. Ice cold water for the driver.
Let's take a look in your trunk, see if you got any contraband or anything in there.
Okay, well, I shouldn't have any, but you never know.
Well, we don't allow any alcohol on this cruise,
You
so
know what I mean, but hey, we're having a good time and everything. It's
all right.
Very enjoyable weather.
Is it?
I think I'm gonna go take a swim before I go on.
You're gonna take? Did you bring your trunks, or are you just gonna go skinny dipping like we used to? And are you? Well, we got women in here, so you gotta be careful. Norma, let me talk to you two. You ladies came from good. No, just stay there. I'll adjust the camera. You and your group came from Goodman, Missouri.
Well, 2 of them are our children, and they actually came from Leavenworth, Kansas.
From Leavenworth, Kansas. Oh, wow.
But the 4 of us, my husband, Miss Lady, and her husband, all came from Goodman.
And how far is that from Stark, Kansas, where we started?
My husband said it's about 80 miles.
About 80 miles, so you drove quite a long way.
So
just
we came and spent the night.
Well, how are you doing on this cruise? I know it's not a good hair day, right?
No, well, not a very good umbrella day either.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone picked up your flag back there, by the way. Michael belongs to Norma here. Michael rode in our cruise last year. He's also, he's with Norma, so we know, I believe he's from Goodman, Missouri also. Okay. And then Michael, your son is here somewhere. Mike. We'll talk to him. All right, go ahead, Michael. I'll cruise around, ladies. We'll catch up with you later.
Right.
Enjoy your trip. We'll be eating soon, probably in about an hour.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to pan down here and get a few more. We have an old case here we're looking at. Most of these tractors are in the 40s and 50s. We have a few of them in the 60s, I believe. Walk down here, and we're taking a break here at Ellsmore Lake, and it's so far the cruise has been pretty good. We've just had some wind, but Larry, this is Larry Isom. Bless his heart, he just had hip surgery not too long ago, and he's out here walking with a cane. How's it going, Larry?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Are you doing pretty good? Now you're driving the relief truck. Is that what we call it? So if anyone has a need to be relieved, Larry's in the back of the cruise. So so I'm going to let Larry. He's got things to do, I'm sure. So. And what are you driving today, Larry, by the way?
It's a 1947 Massey Ferguson.
Larry's driving a 1947. That's an old one. That's one of the older ones in the group.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you get going. We'll check with you later, Larry.
Okay, thank you.
Here's Larry Lindbergh. I don't know if he knows these people. These are some residents here at the lake. It looks like, if I can pan around, there's some cabins up here, and it looks like a nice place to spend a weekend. I believe some of these people might live up here permanently, but I don't really know. Everybody's visiting, and this group here, these are all the Goodmans and the Goodman, Missouri people, the Andrews and I believe they had some friends with them from Leavenworth, Kansas. So, somebody up here from Leavenworth, Kansas? Somebody up here from Leavenworth, Kansas? All right. What brings you from Leavenworth all the way down here to Lake Elsmore, Kansas? Oh.
Michael Scott's dad.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, this is the whole clan right here.
This is the whole clan. This is the Andrews clan, and looks like they're catching up on the cruise. Norma was having a little tractor trouble, but I think she's worked it out. So.
Looks like Sydney's having a little tractor trouble, but she's working.
Oh, all right. We'll check with them later. Here's I want to pan around here. Here's one of the nice little cabins here. Actually, it's a house. Pretty. I'm kind of new with this camera. This is one of the new Sony self-adjusting everything, but so I'm kind of testing it out. We have an old farmall here. I believe it's one of the oldest ones. I believe it belongs to Chuck Chandler Oil up in Chanute, and you can see by the tag on there, we'll just pan around here in a minute, it's a 1935, and I believe that's the oldest tractor in the group, and Chuck tells me that the original paint on the farmalls was gray, as you can see, and then they went to red later on. This is Larry Lindbergh, and again, this is Larry Whalen. Larry's our secretary, and I don't know if they're talking company business. You don't have to get out of the picture, Larry. You can get back over there.
We're getting back.
Are you visiting with some of the natives there, Larry?
Yes.
Filling them in?
We run over. Did you see that snake out there on the road out of town?
The snake? Was that a rattlesnake?
There isn't any black snakes.
Well, it did. Well, it didn't look like a rattlesnake. It didn't have a tail. Didn't have a. All right, we had a roadkill. Larry thought Larry thinks it was a rattlesnake, so we'll take Larry's word. Larry's a long-time resident of this area, so if Larry says it's a rattlesnake, we'll believe him.
There's snakes out there.
Because I wasn't going to go back there and pick it up and ask him or check it out.
Pick it up and make me a necklace out of it.
Okay, Larry. Well, it's getting pretty deep here. I better move on. I don't want to ruin this good camera.
Have a good day.
Mr. and Mrs. Feuerborn, you're here from Richmond, Kansas, and tell us about on the map where that's at.
North of Garnett.
It's north of Garnett, and I've talked to Mr. Feuerborn. He's been on some of our other cruises, and then he also goes on cruises quite a bit, correct?
And we've been in 6 states so far.
How many states?
6 states.
6 states,
And we're planning on going to 4 more this year.
what's the biggest cruise you've been on, Terry?
I've been on several of them with 200 tractors.
200 tractors,
In
boy.
South Dakota and then Iowa.
Now, is that a several-day cruise?
Generally 2 days.
2 days? A lot of organization on something like that for traffic control.
We went up to South Dakota, and the first day we drove 90 miles.
Wow. Terry's a veteran.
We're thinking on going to Mackinac, Michigan this year, and we've got to drive up there 250 miles, and then the next day across the Mackinac Bridge.
Boy, this sounds like a full-time hobby. It sounds like you. I noticed you have quite a trailer that you brought your tractor. Now, is there living quarters in that trailer?
Yes, there's living quarters.
So you're pretty self-sufficient there, then.
Yeah. And we're going to down to Bottom, Oklahoma this next weekend to show and tractor drive, and
Now-
then go over into Texas.
Now, what was the name of the town?
Oh,
Is that near
Chile?
Is that near Hobart, Oklahoma?
oh, it's Chile is the name of it.
Oh, Chile.
It's just east of 69 Highway, just north of the line down there.
Okay. Well,
And then
we
the
sh-
next weekend we're going to Indiana.
Indiana. Boy, you're doing a lot of traveling, Terry. Let me.
Then we're gonna unhook this trailer and hook onto the camper and go to Oregon
Wow.
first half of July.
Well, I tell you what, you really enjoy that, don't you, Terry?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, we're sure glad to have you here today. Roger Kinney here. Roger's driving one of the larger tractors. He's got the big John Deere.
He's driving the sissy ride today.
Roger, how would you describe the ride so far?
Really a lot of fun. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. It's just been going really well. I don't know how we could ask for anything better.
I don't either, Roger. I know some people have remarked about the wind, but if that's their biggest complaint, they're really digging out for something.
And like he said, a lot of good people.
Yeah, that's true, and we're out to have fun and relax, and
That's exactly what it's about.
so now we'll be having lunch in about an hour probably. So I'll check with you guys later, and I'll get some more. Here comes Chuck Chandler. Chuck's got one of the older.
Now this is Dr. Chuck.
Dr. Chuck. Chuck's got the 1935, and with him is
Joe Hansen. Don't forget that master.
Joe Hansen he's a MacGyver type of person. He can fix about anything, and so we haven't. I don't believe have we used your services yet, Joe? Have you had to fix anything? Not today. Now you're driving a Ford?
Massey Ferguson.
Oh, a Massey Ferguson. And what year is that?
65.
A 1965. Are you having fun today? It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Roger was just saying.
This is Larry Isom, Paul Wenger, and Jim Bernaski. Let's see, Paul's from Erie, and Jim is from Stark, and Larry's from Stark. So we just spoke to Larry a few minutes ago. Well, Jim and Paul, how would you describe the cruise so far?
I think it's been fantastic. Yeah, the weather's pretty good. Everything's running okay.
Jim, how are you managing to keep that hat on in all this wind? Oh, he's got Jim's prepared. I was watching Jim, and I says, how does he keep that hat on there in all that wind? So, all right, guys, we'll check with you later. I'm going over here and talk to Mr. Jansen. This is Jerry Jansen, and he's got a 1949 Ford, Jerry.
Right.
How would you characterize the cruise so far? Great. This is pretty much temperature-wise. Our cruise last year was about this time of the year, but I believe it's a little cooler, which is fine with all of us. So we'll be having lunch in about an hour, Jerry. So we'll be checking in with some of the drivers on down the line. So glad to have you with. And where are you from? He's from Garnett. Now, where is Garnett from Stark? About how long did it take you to get to Stark? About an hour's drive. So we've got few people, the Goodman, Missouri people, and I believe you were on our cruise last year, weren't you, Jerry?
Right.
Yeah, Jerry. Do you go on many cruises?
Yeah.
Do you? Mr. Fuhrborn was telling us he goes to several states, and I believe he was on a cruise with over about 200 miles. Have you been on any cruises lately?
Oh, this is the first one this year.
First one this year. You plan on going on some more then?
Right.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jerry. Glad you're here, and enjoy the rest of the cruise.
Okay.
I'll just pan on down here and get some of the tractors. Got a Massey Ferguson here. Belongs to Joe Hansen. We just spoke with him a minute ago. We got Larry Lindbergh again, and we got an old Minneapolis Moline, and it's a 1957, but it looks like it hasn't had any reconstructive work on it, but it's in the cruise. We got Kurt Walters here. Kurt, how are you doing today?
Oh, just fine.
Are you? How would you size up the cruise so far?
Nice and cool, a lot better than last year.
Okay. Yeah, Kurt was with us last year. Kurt's here with his dad and his brother. We'll be speaking with them a little bit. Kurt's driving a 1946 Farmall, and he's from Erie, Kansas. So we'll be having lunch in about an hour, Kurt. So I imagine people will be getting hungry. And behind Kurt, you see the lake, and again, that's the Bourbon County State Lake, known as Lake Elsmore. And you can see, if I can pan in, this beautiful weather. There's some campers over here, and I'll pan in. You can see their tents. So they seem to be enjoying this almost summer weather, but you can tell the weather we're experiencing in the descriptions. We're not into summer yet. Here's the Walters. Here's dad and son, and they're I don't know what they're talking about, but we'll go up here and interview them.
You, Bill?
John and Kevin, and let's see, Kevin's got a 1953, I'll pan in here, a 1953 Ford, and he's from Chanute. And then I'll come back and talk to you guys in a minute. Let me get John's driving a Case Agra King 77, and it's a 1972. It's one of the larger, hold on, let me pan back here. It's one of the larger tractors in the cruise. All right, John, are you and Kevin getting hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about ready to eat.
Well, we had to play a little catch up. We had it seems like during these cruises we usually have one or two that kind of act up a little bit, tractors that is, and but I think we've got the situation solved, so we should be cruising. We're at Lake Elsmore, I said, so we got probably another, what do you think, John, to Uniontown?
It's probably an hour and a half.
About an hour and a half.
Stop down there on the other side.
Yeah.
Waterfall, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So, well, like they say, we'll get there when we get there. So,
that's
John and Kevin, we'll check with you later. We're here at Uniontown. This is our lunch break. We're at the town square. Hi, Chuck. Everyone's hungry, of course. We left Stark about 9:15, and it's about 12:30, so everybody's pretty hungry. They're reminiscing on our first leg of our trip. And we have the Westhoff, Randy Westhoff, and his wife, and I forgot her name. I'll get it here in a minute.
Hey, Billy.
She's
You know, I don't need a napkin.
Everybody seems to be hungry here. I'm testing my Zoom lens here. I'm gonna use the post here. I'm going around. Looks like we got some nice grilled burgers. Looks like a pulled pork sandwich. Go around here.
Well, glad we're meeting this way. Yeah. I should have been watching.
Hello. Pretty good here.
I'm trying to see the bottom of that color.
This is Cheetos, they're right here, if you can reach them for me. Thank you. I got tea here. Thank you. The only phone number, what do you say, Vern? I just got Williams. And I called him, said it was broke down, but see, no service. No service.
I'm gonna take a lunch break here and we'll get back in a little bit. Well, we've just finished lunch and everybody's standing around just visiting. We had some minor problems with our porta potty. Tractor broke down, so we're in the process of correcting that problem. So we're waiting here at the shelter building at Uniontown. Everybody's full, visiting, relaxing. Here's our fearless leader coming down. Willie had a flat tire, and he's looks like he has that fixed. So here's our porta potty. We're broke down. They have not eaten yet. John and Kurt Walters came to the rescue, and they brought the porta potty back here. There's Terry Pureborn and his wife resting. So John and Kurt, give us a lowdown on what the problem was.
The tractor broke down.
You guys come on and get something to eat. I'll just talk with you. Tractor broke down.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I just brought the trailer.
Brought the porta potty back, and the tractor's pretty much done for the day.
I think so.
Well, they've got some food for you, so go over there and get some nourishment. We thank you for rescuing that.
Yeah.
Just go right up there where the guy with the red cap on. When you get,
Yeah, I'll make it up.
yeah, she's bringing the stuff out of the car. I think she set it in the car.